Let's obviously get into this. Law of connection. A lot of you guys study this law today, so let's talk about it. The law of connection. Oh my God, this is powerful. I think you're going to like this. The law of connections. Leaders touch a heart before they ask for the hand. Okay? For leaders to be effective, they must connect with people. All great leaders recognize this truth and act on it almost instinctively. Do you guys see that? It's powerful, right? You cannot move people into action unless you first move them with emotion. Wowzers, okay? This is for your notes. Hope you got this one, okay? All right, touch a heart before you ask for the hand. For leaders to become effective, they need to connect with people. All great leaders recognize this truth and act on it almost instinctively. You can't move people into action unless you first move them with emotion. Yeah. That's powerful. I mean, that's strong. Spending the time, right? Spending time with people, connecting with them. That's what this business is all about. We're in the relationship marketing business. How many of you guys are aware of that? Do you guys see what I'm saying? Yeah. All you got to get good at doing is what? Building relationships with people. How do you do that? You study it. You study it, right? How do you get good at communicating? You study it. It doesn't happen overnight. Some people are gifted in this area. Some people are just naturally gifted. And other people have to work hard at it. But it doesn't matter where you start. Yeah, it's where you finish. Right? The fortune's in the finish line. Did you guys catch that one? Yes. The fortune's in the finish line, so we've got to get there. How do we get there? Let's talk about it. The stronger the relationship and the connection between individuals, the more likely the followers will be to help the leader. It's powerful. Keep this in mind. The stronger the relationship and connection between individuals, the more likely the follower will want to help the leader. Yes. Did you guys see that? Very important. Very important to recognize that. Okay? You've got to rally people around a cause. Does that make sense? And the cause is, guess what? Creating momentum, building a team of people, right? Really creating a momentum, mainly right now. The timing right now of where we are is better than ever before. Why? Because right around the corner, guess what? It's a national convention. Wow. Do you guys see that? Right around the corner. Now the question you have to ask yourself is this, right? How many people do you want to have there with you? Here's the answer. Here's the answer. As many as you can. Let me tell you why. Many of you, you know what? Scratch that. All of you coming out of that event will say, I wish I would have had more people there. Yes. Guarantee you. Ask anybody that was in Arizona. Yep. Ask anybody in Arizona. They'll tell you the same thing. No one's going to say, man, yeah, I had too many people there. Do you guys see what I'm saying? There's no such thing, right? Because the experience, you guys, that they're going to have is going to be unbelievable. Right now, it's in our backyard. This could be, right now, if we pay attention between now and guess what? The convention, if we work hard and we give it everything that we got, we could come out of this convention, you guys, and take over. Southern California could. I mean, really take over. Okay? Now, how do we do that? Yeah, we could even compete with Korea. Wow. Hanguk mahashui sumnika? Anybody speak Korean? No? So here's what we got to do. Here's what we got to do, you guys. We don't have to start speaking Korean. Do you guys get that? All we got to do is just start talking to people. Do you guys follow that? Okay? And just start talking to more people. Okay? So here's what we got to do. We got to connect with people now more than ever before. Let's talk a little bit about what it looks like. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. That's powerful. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. So guess what you've got to do is you've got to go above and beyond. You've got to show people how much you care. That's why we always talk about it, picking up your new people for training. What's funny is this, and you'll see people pick up guests and bring them to events. But as soon as they get started, they won't pick them up anymore. Wow. That's like crazy to me. That's the exact opposite. Do you guys get what I'm saying? Like, they get started, you've got to pick them up. That first, whenever somebody gets started in your organization, what I always try to teach people is this, okay, is what I do, okay? Now, what do I do when I sign somebody up? First week, guess what? 100%. 100%. I have them watch. Second week, I do 80, they do 20. Third week, that I do 20, they do 80. By the fourth week, they're doing 100%, I'm watching. How fast can I duplicate somebody? That's the key. The key is to this business is to do what? To duplicate. How do you duplicate? Well, you've got to learn how to empower. We're going to train today on the law of empowerment. But here's the deal. We've got to first connect with people. We've got to touch a heart before asking a hand. We've got to understand that people don't care how much we know until they know how much we what? Okay. You guys got it, okay? You develop credibility with people when you connect with them and show that you genuinely care and want to help them. And as a result, they usually respond in kind and want to help you. So realize this, you guys. If you just go out there and care about people, genuinely care about people, when you bring somebody in the organization, you bring somebody into the, get started on your team, you just got to focus in and care about them. If you care about them, guess what's going to happen? They're going to care about you. Yeah. But people aren't going to care about you unless, guess what, you care about them. Show them first. That's what it's a leader's job, right, to initiate this. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about what it looks like. Here's what I want you to realize. Okay, laws of connection. This is powerful. I like this. 6 keys to connection. Okay, personal authenticity, that's most important. Okay, you've got to really just genuinely care about people. Like if you can genuinely get excited about caring about people, not because of what's in it for you, but just caring about people. Someone's like, yeah, I'll care about people because I get paid to. No, just care about people. Does that make sense? Just really honestly care about them, all right? Number 2 is keys to connection is relationship. Very important. Approachability. You just got to know, always keep in mind that, guess what? Nobody's any better than anybody else. That's the thing that you got to remember. Nobody's any better than anybody else. Okay, now some people might be better in certain areas because guess what? They got that information, but that's all it is. The only reason why I'm better and I make a little bit more money than some of you in this room, in this business, the reason why my checks are maybe a little bit bigger is for one reason. It's because I've been doing it for 17 years. Do you see that? After 17 years, every single one of you will be better than me. Every one of you. There's nobody in this room that's not going to be better than me, because if I can't teach you, right, from all my life lessons over the last 17 years of what I've done wrong, I mean, that would be terrible. If I can throw a ball a certain amount of a distance, guess what? You should be able to throw it further. Do you guys see that? That's just a leader. That's what you do as a leader, is you teach people and save them time, effort, and energy. Does that make sense? That's all it is. That's what experience is all about. You learn from other people's experiences. Stupid people never learn. Would you guys agree with that? But here's what I'll tell you guys. Wise people, that's what it's about. Stupid people never learn. Okay, the stove's hot and they just keep touching it. They're just fired up to touch it. Like, whoa! You know what I mean? Whoa! Right? They don't get it. Smart people learn from their own experiences. Do you see that? I explained this the first time I ever seen this ultimate fighting stuff. You guys ever seen this stuff? Yeah. Like where they get in the octagon and they beat each other up? I never seen this before until I saw it. How many of you guys are the same way? Yeah. Right? So I watched this situation where I saw this guy came in there and this other dude, like the game just started, or the match, or whatever they call it, and the dude like kicked him in his head, and the guy got knocked out. Like didn't even, like the guy just went, I mean, I could have done that. Do you guys see what I'm saying? I'm like, I could have done that. I easily could have done that. I could have got kicked in the head. I could, you know what I mean? All the guy did was got kicked in the head and got knocked out. I'm like, I could do that. But what do you think that guy learned from that experience? Protect your head. Yeah, next time block it. Would you guys agree with that? Right? Now if he doesn't learn that, right, next time he fights that guy and the guy kicks him in the head again, it's like, shame on you. Would you guys agree with that? Right? If he doesn't learn, he just keeps getting kicked in the head and knocked out, he's stupid. Would you guys agree with that? Now he's smart, guess what? If he learns, right? Ooh. Now you're wise, guess what? If you learn from other people's experience. Yes. You guys see that? So smart people learn from their own experience. Stupid people never learn. And then wise people learn from other people's experiences. Wow. That's the secret to success. OPE, right? Other people's experiences. It'll save you time. That's all I do. So you got to understand that no one's any better than anybody else. So don't think like, you know what I mean? You might talk to somebody that, you know, they're like, oh, I'm this or that. And it's like, dude, no, you're not. You know, you understand? I know who I am. I'm a guy that worked at Boomers. You guys see what I'm saying? I'm a Boomers employee that got lucky. You guys see that? Oh, I'm a track attendant of a go-kart place who got lucky. That's all that happened. That's it. So you just got to know who you are. Mutual respect. This is powerful. You've got to respect. Some people are saying, oh man, it's great if, guess what? You know, the people believe in the leader. It's better whenever the leader believes in the people. We'll talk about that in a minute. Okay, belief in the people and meaning in depth. Let's talk about how this all works, okay? And this is for your notes, okay? Is this how to connect with people, okay? First is connect with yourself. This is very valuable. First, connect with yourself. Don't believe in what you, here's what it is. If you don't believe in who you are and where you want to lead, work on that before doing anything else. Very powerful. Look what this is all about. Connect with yourself. Connect with yourself. The first thing you got to do, you guys, is you got to love you. Do you guys see that? That's the secret to everything. That first thing, mainly with the law of connection, you've got to love who you are. That's number one, man. You got to love you. And if you can fall in love with yourself, guess what's going to happen? Right? You're going to be able to connect with other people. But if you don't like who you are, and you don't believe in who you are, and you don't believe in where you're going, people aren't going to be attracted to you. So you've got to really understand, guess what? Okay, you've got to believe in yourself and where you want to lead and work on that. That's number one. Obviously, most of you have that under your belt because you're already doing a great job. That's why you're in this room, okay? Let's talk a little bit about communicate openness and sincerity. People can smell a phony a mile away. Authentic leaders connect. That's the deal, okay? You'll find those leaders are like, listen to me carefully, but don't watch me too close. I'm telling you guys, it's all about caring about people. If you just go out there and care about people and focus in on them, guess what's going to happen? People are going to be attracted to you so much because they know your heart. You've got to care about people. If you care about people, guess what happens? Everything happens. You've got to realize that right now. It's like, look, you know what? I care about people more than anybody else. That's the attitude that you've got to have. You got to say, look, you know what? I care about people and I want to help everybody on my team. And I want to go out there and the people that are on my team, I want to make sure that they make it. If you care more about other people's success, your success is guaranteed. So watch how it works. Number 3, know your audience, okay? When you work with individuals, knowing your audience means learning people's names, finding out their histories, asking them about their dreams. When you communicate with an audience, you learn about the organization and their life goals. You want to speak about what they care about. When you're talking to somebody, right? We talk about this all the time. We teach this all the time. Is you want to talk to, guess what? They're listening. Do you guys see that? What's important to them? Where are they at in their life? Talk on their level. When I talk to kids, guess what I do? I get down on their level. Do you see that? I don't ever talk to the kids like this, right? If I'm coaching a football team and they're all this big, guess what I do? Get down on their level. Do you guys get that? I do that too when I work with short people. Does that make sense? You don't want to be like, live your message, practice what you preach. That's where credibility comes from. Credibility comes from, guess what? Living your message. That's the most important thing. You can sit there and you can preach about something, you can talk about something, but if you're not leading by example, then guess what? People don't want to be around you. That's why it's so important to lead by example. That's why one of the qualifications to make it in here is to make sure you're registered for the national. To make sure that you've got a ticket to the regional. Why? Because guess what? If you're not living the message, man, you could be like, oh, you got to be at the regional. Have you bought any tickets? No. You understand, you guys? You have to live your message. You can't just tell people what to do. You got to lead by example. And guess what? Live the message. Live the life. You can't just go out there. You got to live the life that you say, that you talk about. You can't just say, hey, man, you know what? We're going to go out there and do great things and don't do great things. Do you guys get what I'm saying? You've got to care about people. You've got to focus in on people. And more importantly than anything else, you have to show that. That's the most important thing. Number 5, okay, go where they are. Remove any barriers to communicate as possible. Try to attune into their culture, their background, education, and so on. Adapt to other people. Don't expect them to adapt to me. What does that mean? When you're talking to someone, talk on their level. Do you see that? Don't ever try to talk above people. Don't ever say things like, I don't know if you know this or not. Do you guys get that? Yeah, that's so, like when I work with people that are learning how to speak and develop speakers, that's the one thing that makes me want to rip my ears off when I hear them say that. I don't know if you know this or not. Basically, what you're saying is that you don't know this. What you want to say is, I'm sure you know this. Most of you in this room, you already know this. Do you guys understand why you do that? Yes. Because now you're raising them up to your level. Do you guys see that? Just care about people, guys, and guess what? Focus on growing them, and your life's going to be great. Number 6, okay, for your notes. Okay, focus on them, not yourself. Focus on others, not yourself. That is the number 1 problem of inexperienced speakers and ineffective leaders. When I watch people, you can tell whenever people are asking questions, if they really are focusing in on the answers. Let's say I'm talking to Andrew and I say, Andrew, what city are you from? What specific? I go, Andrew, what city are you from? Do you guys get what I'm saying? It's like, I just asked that question. I see people ask the same question twice. It's like, dude, are you even paying attention? Are you even like cognizant? Are you even awake? Are you on, you know what I mean? Are you on something? You got to just focus in on them. That's it. Nothing else matters. Don't worry about what they think of you. That's the biggest thing, man. When you're connecting with someone, don't worry about what they think of you. Most people are so self-conscious, they're worried about what that person thinks of them.
Yeah.
Don't worry about you. Just worry about them. That's the deal. It's about lifting other people up.
Yeah, for sure.
That's the whole thing, man. You guys, you just care about other people more than you care about yourself, and you're taken care of.
That's the key.
But guess what? If you focus in on you, you're always going to have to focus in on you. You see what I'm saying? It's a no-brainer, man. Just focus and care about other people. Number 7, I think you'll like this. Believe in them. This is the most powerful one. It's one thing to communicate to people because you believe you have something valuable to say. That's one thing, okay? But it's another to communicate with people because you believe that they have value.
Wow.
This is it right here, you guys. I learned this right now when I'm training to you guys on. I learned this in the book called Failing Forward. I heard that, yeah, I heard the title. I'm like, dude, like failing forward. I go, John C. Maxwell doesn't just write books about success. He teaches you how to fail. I'm like, dude, that's like the last thing I want to learn about. The title kind of scared me, right? And then I was listening to the audio program. I was in my buddy's car. I'm like, dude, this is sick. I go, who is this? I mean, what program is this of John C's? He's like, this is, Failing Forward. I'm like, dude, this is ridiculous. I go, I've been pushing off that book. I got to tackle it. And when I got that book, one thing he said that was so powerful is exactly what I'm sharing with you right now. John C. Maxwell says, to motivate people, believe in them.
There it is.
That's the secret of motivation. But you can't believe in someone else if you don't believe in yourself. You can't give what you don't have. You can't give belief if you don't have belief. So you have to know 100% you've got what it takes. You've got to be sold out on yourself, and you've got to know that you're a champion. And once you know that you're a champion and you know you've got what it takes, you can pull that out of other people all day long. So here it is, you guys. People's opinions of us, okay, have less to do with what they see in us than what we can help them, this is it, from what we can help them see in themselves. Get that? People's opinions of us have less to do with what they see in us than with what we can help them see in themselves. See, everyone's got greatness within them.
So true.
Everybody's got greatness within them. Don't think, oh, in order to be successful, you've got to be this, that, or the other thing. None of that matters. You can't judge the heart of a man or woman by looking at them. You can't measure someone's heart, how bad they want something, their level of desire, their level of commitment. You've got to want it so bad. Hey, look, you know what? I'm going to make it happen no matter what. That's the situation. Now, here it is. Number 8. I like this one. Give them hope. You guys all know, right? The French general Napoleon Bonaparte said, leaders are dealers in hope. When you give people hope, you give them a future. Paint a picture of the future for the people that are following you. Talk to them about where we're going. Because a lot of times what happens is, in the daily activity of going through what it takes to get from A to B, it's not easy. So you've got to, guess what? You've got to take them there. You've got to paint that picture, right? Can you imagine whenever we're here? Can you imagine whenever we're, you know what I mean? You've got to be able to paint that picture clearly. When you're working with people, man, can you imagine when you're walking across that stage and you're picking up a check for $200,000 because you hit diamond? How's that going to feel? What are you going to do with it? You know what I mean? So you just take people there mentally. Do you guys get that? Try to get them to visualize it, get them to see it. Because guess what? Hope of the future, like Jim Rohn talks about, right? And Julian Doan talked about this week in personal development. Hope you took notes, right? The promise of the future is an awesome force.
Yes.
Remember that? So here it is, number 9. The next thing. Successful leaders who obey the law of connection are always initiators. This is it. They take the first step with others, and then they make effort to continue to build the relationships. It's not always easy, but it's important for success of an organization. A leader has to do it, no matter how many obstacles there might be. You've got to make sure you focus in and get out there and connect with the newest people on your team. This is so important. A lot of times what happens is, as your organization starts to grow, you start to develop leaders. And what happens is you connect with them. But the key is that brand new person that just got started on your team. That person's more important than anybody else. Because the lifeblood of an organization is the brand new people that just got started.
Right.
So you've got to focus in on your newest people. Go connect with them. Don't just get into, focusing in on your leaders. Reach down there and grab those new leaders and develop them. Watch this. I think you'll like this. You cannot connect with others. Okay, you connect with others when you learn their names, make yourself available to them, tell them how much you appreciate them, find out what they are doing, and most importantly, listen to them. Listen to them. That's the key. Listening to people. So how do you connect? How do you connect? Watch this. This is the best way to do it. There's an old saying, to lead yourself, use your head. To lead others, use your heart. That's the nature of the law of connection. Always touch a person's heart before you ask for a hand. It was funny because on the way over here, I was with my brother-in-law, David, and he was at my son's football game. And I was telling him this about when I was talking to Isaiah on the sideline. I walked up to the kid Isaiah, who's the best, by far the best player on our team, and I said, Isaiah. And I looked at him in his eyes and said, Isaiah, I want you to know something. I got down on his level and said, I want you to know something. He goes, what, coach? I said, I believe in you. I believe in you.
Wow.
And he went out there, and I started yelling his name like a crazy person. And he started running. It was like ridiculous. It was incredible. There's nothing more powerful than believing in somebody. But more importantly, guess what? Letting them know. I'm getting fired up right now. Yeah, I like this one. Okay, this is good. Okay, we have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so that we can listen twice as much as we speak. Do you guys see that? Okay, all right. That's the most important thing, is focus in on, guess what, listening to others. That's the law of connection. So how many of you are committed to learning the law of connection? Say aye. Aye. Now's the time, you guys. Let's put that in our brain and say, look, you know what? Now on, more than ever before, I'm going to connect.